Hello guys, what is rockin'? I'm FrankNsteinGtr or GTR or simply just Frank. Today we are on part 2 of Frank Hub. So today guys, I'm gonna be talking about some pretty heavy stuff. A lot's happened in 2020, I think we can all understand. Nothing went according to plan. And honestly, my year was no better. A lot of stuff happened, and I guess I'll be talking about it. So this is also my quote year in review. So honestly, my year started off on a bad note because the previous year parents actually started their divorce, which honestly I didn't really get to focus on at all. Like, the feelings were they were kinda there, but they weren't as extreme as I thought they would be now. I suppressed a lot. I really suppressed a lot. Not good to suppress your feelings, let's just say that. After that, my mom started tampering down from alcohol. She used to drink a lot. You understand what I mean by used to. And she couldn't tamper down quick enough. And one day, I honestly could not. I'm not strong enough. I'm really not strong enough mentally or physically. I mean, I'm able to do, all the tasks I need to do, groceries, everything, but I can't lift a 300-pound person. And she kept falling to the floor. I didn't know what to do, so I tried to get her to a hospital. That was the first time I ever had to see an ambulance. They dragged her away just in time. She stayed. 2 days later, she would have been dead. So I had to deal with that, along with school and maintaining a relationship with my girlfriend at the time, which honestly, it was like she was kind of that one person that was holding me down. Like, video games wasn't really helping. A lot of stuff really wasn't helping. Like, I was so demotivated. Us playing video games was like the only way I could cope. Now, during this time, I actually started to try to do stuff. I tried to do anything I could to play with my girlfriend at the time. I even accepted being on a podcast for interviewing about what I do on YouTube. And it was really cool. I was going to show clips for it right now, but I figured I would just leave the entire interview unedited at the end for y'all to enjoy. It got privated and we no longer see it. But at this time, my mom came back from the hospital and she ended up having to go back. And my friend stayed over, which she is no longer my friend, and I'll explain that later. But he even sat right next to me as I was doing the interview, and he had to leave, and it kind of sucked not saying goodbye, because it was like one of the last times I got to see him. Well, around this time, I basically kept having to take care of my mom all by myself. I really didn't have any help when she came back the second time, because honestly, I don't know, it was a struggle to get help. I started actually reaching out to my grandparents, and they finally knew about the situation, and they got some nurses to help. We got, I think this one girl that would come in every now and then, not like the full day or sometimes not even every day, which at the time really sucked because she really needed help. Like, she wasn't really able to walk, she couldn't really feed herself. I luckily was able to finally get her to get Grubhub on her app so she can actually order stuff, because most of the time I couldn't really get her breakfast, lunch. I think the only one I could do was dinner because I was out of school. But even then, she was an extremely picky eater like me. So it made it extremely difficult to eat with her sometimes. Well, some extra stuff that happened during the time of me actually, my mom being in the hospital, there was some extra stuff. During my mom's divorce, there's a lot of complicated stuff. There was a lot of stuff that made even more things happen. Like, my mom ended up having security people during the divorce, because I'll explain the reasons why as later. But she had these security people, and they were honestly very corrupt, very terrible people. Mainly because I remember my mom was in the hospital, and the guy was so insistent on making sure the homes were cleaned. And obviously, I think he just wanted to make sure he was getting paid, because he was getting paid to do that. And I was like, well, we don't care if we waste money. She's in the hospital. It's more important to be focusing on just trying to not do anything Holt stuff and just focus on making sure she gets her stuff at the hospital. And he didn't listen to me at all. Later on, this guy, we'll just call him Donatello, okay? We'll just call him Donatello. And, I remember one time my mom, told him to give me the key this year to our mountain house. Now, I'm the only one that has a key to that house, along with my dad, I think, but my dad was like all the way, he was all the way in a different part of where I live, like maybe hours away. But basically, one minute he goes there, next day he's insisting that we get it clean. I go up and I see that there's food leading up to the front door. The front door is open. There's tons of stuff just destroyed. All the food's basically ruined. There's food just leading up to our refrigerator. Here's some footage of it. And it was really stupid. And you could see there was no claws, no nothing, no anything. I thought it was a bear thing at first, but then the idiot. Sometimes foreshadowing what you've done is blatantly obvious, and he did that, so doing so. Because he was like, the only way that this could have happened is if someone staged it. And it's like, well, I have the key. I want to go stage something like that. You and this other security guard are the only one that had the key at the time. The door was locked. How more blatantly obvious could you be? So, yeah, that happened, which really sucked. And that was during the transition of mom constantly being in the hospital till she got better help. Now, we eventually got better help, as I stated. My grandparents and actually no, my aunt, she got my mother full-time nursing. From the morning to lunch, to the afternoon with dinner, and at night, because my mom was suffering a lot of pain, and I didn't know what it was. I'll tell y'all guys later, here soon. But before that, I wasn't able to get sleep. She kept having nightmares, or she would have pain at night, so it was very difficult for her to sleep, and she would be screaming in pain, bloody murder, that type thing. So the fact that we had nurses there, it was really nice. Sometimes my mom, she did not like strangers that were forced upon her. She liked people that she hired. So she would ask him to go into this separate part of the house, and I would tell him, don't listen to her. Stay at least behind her at the kitchen table. Because we turned the entire living room into basically hospital area. It had a hospital bed, a lift chair, breathing machines, stuff like that. So it was basically a hospital. And I told him, stay there because she cannot sleep through the night. She has trouble. She's in pain. Y'all need to help the best y'all can. And it helped. I was able to get sleep. She was able to get care. All seemed good, but her physical trainer, which we'll just call Slim, and Slim, he just noticed a lot of her muscles declining strength. Like, she could barely walk, next she could barely move her legs side to side, her knees, her ankles to her toes. She couldn't really move anything. And we noticed this, so we were like, I kept urging her parents to try to get her better help, because I knew they were noticing something that other people weren't. And we kept sending her to the hospital back and forth through all this. And eventually They're called lift. Basically just firefighters coming with paramedics to help her get up or stuff like that. And they started getting on to me and getting mad with me, always calling them. And it's like, I don't know what to do. And her parents weren't wanting to force her to go anywhere because my mom was too stubborn to be put or forced to do anything. So I felt very trapped, and I even had to take care of a dog at the time too. So all this plus a dog wasn't helping. Eventually we got squared away a plan to get her on a plane to Dallas, where my entire family is in Texas too. They're not even where I'm at. It's just me, my dad, and her here. And we eventually got a plane set up. And to give you an idea, this entire thing, just trying to get her there the first time, was $200,000. Okay. Now we in the sense of things, you can buy a pretty nice car for that, or a nice house, or even live off of that and buy a really cheap house and just live for a while without the worry. It's a lot of money. It was just to buy a plane that basically this plane was like a hospital, and it was gonna carry her to Dallas and keep her safe. And she refused to go. She refused to get help. And for me, I felt, and I tried to ask the doctor, could we try her for suicide? She's being suicidal. She's not caring for herself. And there's no way to do that legally, which put me in a deeper depression for all this. And eventually the day came where they were supposed to take her away. So we tried that. And she refused to go. And the paramedics that were there that drove all the way to Colorado to get her to go, she was denying them. She even signed a form for them to be canceled and not take her. And even my our at-home doctor, and he had to sign her off working with her because she was too much of a liability, which I understand. She was. So me and him sat down before he signed off to try to convince her, and this was the last conversation I had with her, without her being under something, and I'll get to that later. She didn't listen. I told her, I'm not leaving. We are getting you there. Will you please go? I kept asking her, kept threatening her, basically everything. And she tried to kick me out just for me trying to help, and kicked me out of both the homes that she owned. So the only place I would have been able to go is my dad's, which would have been fine, but it just hurts being kicked out of your own house that you did everything in your power to take care of her. So I just said, I don't feel like you love me anymore. I don't feel like you do love me. I don't think you care. You're threatening me. That really doesn't show it. So we kept talking, we kept saying all this, and the doctor eventually brought up something that hurt me, and it kind of put me at my wit's end. He said that she had a month to live. And to me, I said, see you in a month. You think what you're doing is gonna help you? You think you can actually pull through this yourself? See you in a month. So I left. I felt I lost her already, and it really sucked. So eventually, after weeks, or actually not even a week, I think it was maybe like 3 to 4 days, I called the doc and stuff, and apparently my mom was willing to go, and she even messaged me, and she even asked if I would be there, and I said no. I didn't want to. I gave up. I couldn't handle it. I did everything I could. So eventually after that, she got on the plane, and we got word that on the plane she suffered multiple organ failure and had to be sedated, and which really took us by surprise. So we decided to fly there. Right as we got word we were gonna see her and stuff, I took my dad, because even though they divorced, really there's more to the reason of the divorce and more stuff that tied into it, and she still loved him and he still loved her. And so I was like, we're gonna go. We ended up going there. We ended up seeing her. She had multiple tubes down her throat. She was basically on life support. They gave her 2 weeks to live now. So I basically visited her I decided to leave, let her recuperate, maybe she'll be back. We were gonna fly back, and right as the airport I was given that notice. So right there, we were about to eat Chili's at an airport, and we had to leave to go see her. So eventually our family met us there too. They were there, and they took her off life support. And I, of course, said my final goodbyes. I've also learned at the hospital, as well as being bipolar, she was also schizophrenic. So she was always dealing with episodes mentally and demons and stuff, and that's why she always drank. And she probably kicked us out a lot of our homes just so we didn't have to see her drinking. And so at that moment, I forgave her. I'm still doing it. And before the end of her flight, before she got sedated, and that's how I had to talk to her. It was weird. It was like she was there, but she wasn't. It's like the body was alive, her mind was alive, but she wasn't all there. It was like she just couldn't, like she could probably comprehend things that were happening, but she couldn't. And I remember I had to see her with these gloves on that they had to wrap around so she didn't pull the tubes out of her. And she stayed about 2 days off life support, and she passed away. And I was told before she was even sedated, that she asked if I was okay. I told her I was always gonna be okay. So. Now, I don't want to get too emotional for this video. A lot of stuff happened to me. My mom passed away and everything that you heard. That's what I experienced through COVID. But there was a lot that also happened for me. I also ended up, my girlfriend broke up with me over stuff that honestly I'm not going to get into. We both had our faults for the reason we broke up. And honestly, there's some videos that I'm not gonna be able to make because of our breakup, and some of them may soon be privated, or I'm just gonna keep posting till those things just disappear into the void. I don't know, but a lot of stuff happened for people, even if they didn't get that weren't even part of my life. Like, a lot of people got COVID. A lot of people had family members that went through it. A lot of people were dealing with their own stuff that occurred. We even had toilet crises around the US with toilet paper. We had sanitizer stuff too. Not till I watched, I think, a internet historian video, which I recommend the video. I didn't even know people are destroying 5G towers, which most of them weren't even 5G, they just thought they were. We had fires in a lot of places. We had the Amazon rainforest, one of the biggest forests in the world, and it caught on fire, so that really sucked. It scared me to death because I already have theories that by the time I see my great-grandchildren that we won't even have it because of all the deforestation and stuff that's occurring. But we also had stuff happening in Australia too. For my state, we had fires too. Even one of my houses nearly burnt down. It nearly got caught by the fire. So there's so many reasons I haven't been able to consistently upload, and I'm gonna be honest, I've tried my best, guys, and I hope y'all can understand. I can't have a consistent upload schedule because of that. I probably won't be able to consistently upload till this summer and my gap year for college. I'll be trying to work on music and YouTube. Those will be my 2 priorities for that. But till then, it's gonna be school. I'll be trying to upload. But there's still even more stuff that happened. I got the luckier side of things. Some people already had parents that were domestically abusing each other. That was going up. Murder was going up. People were committing suicide because they didn't know what to do. We even had the Black Lives Matter stuff where Call of Duty got postponed because of the riots and things. It really just all around sucks. The fact that I even made it is amazing. So I just want to say this year of 2021, I'm going to be trying to have a better year. I'm going to be trying to do stuff better my year. And yeah, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Tell me what videos I should make. And tell me what y'all are hoping to achieve this year. So, yeah, guys. It's been Frank. Keep rocking and rolling, my dudes. Peace.
Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gaming with Maverick. This week I'm sitting down with FrankNstein. We play a little Rainbow Six Siege. I always like Siege because I never really know how I'm going to do. Most of the time I embarrass myself in front of the guests, but I think this time I did pretty good. We're going to start this video off with a little goofy tactic myself and Bearded Lizard pulled off. While I interviewed FrankNstein, we did pick up two of my friends, Bearded Lizard and Mr. Menace. They make appearances every once in a while, just to fill up a squad a little more so we weren't stuck with randoms. But yeah, myself and Bearded Lizard, we do a little play on some poor unfortunate Clash that they thought they could be Clash. So yeah, we'll get into this interview and we'll watch some gameplay, and yeah, this is a short one, but it's good. So what can you tell me about your username and your logo?
Well, the logo I drew up myself after, I think, having like two others previous. And then the username, I actually got the nickname, I think, back in kindergarten, of all places, being called Frankenstein, because I basically fell asleep in class, in a computer class, accidentally hit a water bottle, it spilled, and I got electrocuted. So I woke up and people were like, "Huh, it's Frankenstein." And it's like, I didn't really take it as an insult because it's like, it's better than being called like poop head or pea brain. I took it as a sign of, okay. And I kind of forgot about it until I think I had issues with Ubisoft and I think one of my accounts, and was like, I guess I'll just completely rebrand, and I created this.
So do you stream? Do you create YouTube videos?
Mainly YouTube. I do stream like rarely. I wish I could get into streaming. It's a different like world completely, because you can't edit yourself. So it's like, if you like cuss, you can't really edit it out, or if you say something controversial, you could get like a strike.
What are you hoping to gain out of making YouTube videos?
Honestly, I have a lot of friends, I guess, ask me that, and I don't really look to get far with YouTube. I want to pursue music production, but it's like, if YouTube did become my career, it's like, hey, I'll take it with music production or over it. I'll do either one. So
what do you play when you aren't making YouTube videos?
Oh god, I play way too many different games. It's difficult because sometimes I'll be like, I'll play, let's say, I think not too long ago I did Mortal Kombat. I just kept wanting to like play it, but then I'd be like, oh, I could do a video idea on this or a video on this.
Do you have a favorite like content creator?
I do a lot of Siege content, or at least I feel like it's the main game I play. So I watch people like Russian Badger or Tuxbird, those type of creators. I did watch Mr. Homeless, if you heard of him. If you haven't, he was crazy in Siege community.
So what's the first video game you remember playing?
I think the first one, I actually walked in on, I think, my dad with his friends over, and I just found out we had like a PlayStation 3, I think, hidden in the house. My parents thought it was like a DVD player. I walked in, and apparently they were playing Mortal Kombat versus DC.
So yeah. What's your goal for 2020, for the end of the year?
To be honest, trying to get the 2K subscribers is my big goal.
Yeah.
I'm trying my hardest to do that. And then obviously try to survive COVID as long as I can till like a vaccine comes out.
Right.
But yeah, just trying to keep in contact with friends too, because I have lost friends, like contact-wise, because of like them having issues with it, or even one of my closest online friends even got COVID. It's rough, so just trying to keep in contact with friends and reach 2K is my hopes.
That about wraps up this episode. Thanks again, guys, for stopping by. We have an awesome list of people coming up. They want to play some awesome games. I think actually I'm interviewing someone Friday, and I think we're gonna play Super Smash. So that'll be pretty cool. That'll be fun. Definitely tune in for that. That's gonna be a fun one. We added some more people to the guild. You'll start seeing some of their highlights and some of their content more over the next couple weeks. And I'm gonna start interviewing some of them, so you'll see some of those guys on the show. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. So definitely hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thanks again, guys. See you next week. Peace.
Hello guys, this is gonna be the outro. I have to say though, Mav kind of stole, well, him saying peace at the end of his. But we're just gonna let that slide. So yeah guys, this year was really tough in a lot of ways. But I have to thank each and every one of you that watched all the way through, and also to the people that watched the videos of this year and kept staying subscribed. I know it was a difficult year, I didn't get a lot published, but I still made videos in a different way. I made a lot of videos in collaboration with Yoder, and I have to thank him for being a friend through all of this. It's not been easy for me, and having a friend that close has been really helpful, so thank you. I also would like to thank all the friends outside of my YouTube channel, and I'm also sorry to the people that I've hurt during all this. It's not been easy to deal with all this. So thank you for the people that stuck around, and hopefully I'll come up with some better content for this year. Thank you guys. See y'all in 2021.